Hello, and welcome to a video. It's nice to meet you. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite animators on YouTube, TerminalMontage, a parody animator that's been in the game for quite a bit and has made quite an impression on the internet with his depictions of video game characters, to the point where they're basically his own. And today, I'm going to see which characters are the strongest, in the form of a tier list. I do want to say, however, that I'm only going to be including the protagonists of each video of the Something About series, along with some side characters. If I included every single character under the sun, I'm pretty sure that thing would burn out before I stop yapping. And I'm not including his Pokemon Royale series, because I interpret it as something else from the Something About series, if that makes sense. Now that that's out of the way, let's start with our first characters. The Hunters. You know, fun fact about these guys. In their first 3 videos, they're unnamed characters. But in the 4th one, Iceborne, they actually do get names in the end credits. And their names are Bill and Bogus. I love it. But yeah, anyway, these guys aren't that strong. Yeah, they have some weapons, they do kill some monsters, as monster hunters tend to do. But honestly, they're kind of glorified punching bags. Seriously, they get impaled, beat up. I'm pretty sure one of them even blew themselves up. And most of their victories are usually on accident. There's this one time where they had to fight this fetus monster, I think, that shoots lasers. They dodge the laser, and the monster ends up cutting a volcano, which toilet bowls itself into his den and kills himself. So, yeah. From the top of my head, I think they only kill 4 monsters. There's Rathlos in the first one. There's Zora Magmar, which I kind of don't really count because they had a ship to help them. A weird fart monster and a snow shark. And that one, rapper guy, I don't know. But I honestly think these guys are somewhat capable. I mean, they do get some jobs done. So, in the end, I'm going to put them as the average. They're C tier. And they'll act as a perfect stepping stone for every single other character I'm about to talk about. The next character up is Yoshi. Now, Yoshi is a fairly powerful guy. However, he's usually surrounded by a bunch of Yoshis that are exactly like him. So, I think it's fair to say that whatever they can do, Yoshi can also do. That includes eating people, turning them into eggs, and yeah, I can't really think of anything else. He's able to turn his face into a Gatling gun. He's a little unhinged, but that doesn't compare to his ultimate weapon, the slap. The slap is an iconic part to the Something About series. It's basically a one-shot to any enemy that opposes Yoshi. He uses the slap on Bowser, Baby Bowser, and even Dracula. I honestly think he's fairly smart too. I mean, I guess he doesn't really know how to read, but I mean, he's a dinosaur, so what do you expect? I'm gonna put Yoshi in B tier. I think he's more powerful than the Hunters. I think they might give him a little bit of trouble. So, yeah. Now we have one of the characters that TerminalMontage tends to glaze the... that TerminalMontage tends to glaze the most. That being Boshi. Boshi is just a much more radical and totally tubular version of Yoshi. I'm pretty sure he has every single ability that Yoshi has and more. He basically carries the entire team. Some feats worth noting is that when faced with this thing, he was launched to the moon, and then, to retaliate, he ground pounds the moon into his face. He then tries to kill God with magic, and he somehow knows Ultima, which, if I'm remembering correctly, is from Kingdom Hearts, and it's the move that Mickey uses. Oh no, I never played those games. And the thing that's most impressive, he's able to turn into a helicopter. Yeah, so that's S tier. Okay, now we got Smash Link from Something About Smash Bros. And just like Link in those games, he's a total pushover. Like, seriously, this guy is an absolute joke. He is a literal punching bag. He spends the entire video getting beat up. Now, I will give him a little bit of credit. His first battle in Melee was against Melee Fox. Ain't no way he's winning that. But seriously, immediately after, he just gets beat up by everybody, even a child. Super pathetic, utter garbage, D tier. Now you're probably wondering why I won't put him in F tier. Well, you're just gonna have to see. People get worse from here. And Link, tried to put up a fight, which, yeah, I guess puts him in D tier. I don't know. Now for a real deep cut. Fortnite Jermey. You probably heard me say those words and immediately clicked off the video. And if you're still watching, thank you for being such a trooper. But back to it, Fortnite Jermey is the protagonist or lens for us in the Something About Fortnite video, which I'm assuming that everybody remembers. In the video, I mean, he does do Fortnite things. He does get the materials and gets the guns. He also breaks this crystal that gives him macho legs. And what a sight to behold there. There's honestly not much to say. I think the video is only like 2 minutes long. Yeah. So I'm gonna put him D tier. A little above Link though. Our next character is a staple to TerminalMontage's legacy. Kirbo. Now Kirbo is a Protestant menace. He is easily the most powerful character in the entire series. He tanks Meta Knight ship's thrusters right to the face. He slapped both the sun and the moon, and in his next episode killed both of them. He can dodge lightning, sucked up an entire planet, and resisted black holes. He literally has the power of God and anime on his side. There is literally no disagreement. He is the most powerful character. End of discussion. Now with that monster out of the way, let's talk about Meta Knight. Meta Knight originally started out as just a joke. In his very first episode, he was stabbed in the face, and in the next, he was absolutely obliterated by the US Second Amendment. And then in a later episode, diabetes. But after Sakurai himself bestowed upon him Brawl SS tier, he has certainly become one of the most powerful characters. He's able to teleport and go toe-to-toe with Speedrunner Link, which we'll get to eventually. And even though that he was dogged on by that Second Amendment, he did survive all of that, so that's worth something. I think he's worthy enough to get our first A tier. Now we get to one of TerminalMontage's most iconic parodies, Mario.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
Mario is a little bit of an interesting case because there's two versions of this character in my opinion. There is Mario, and then there is Speedrunner Mario. We're going to be looking at just Mario, because Speedrunner Mario is technically two characters. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, later it's revealed that Mario is possessed by this demon called Speed Demon, which, in my interpretation, merely enhances his already godlike speed. Because with Speed Demon, he would undoubtedly be S tier. But without him, it's not as clear. Without Speed Demon, he's still able to backwards long jump, glitch through walls, and access parallel worlds. He can lift castles without much effort, summon tornadoes. He learned the slap from Yoshi, which he abuses Bowser with. He's able to survive a black hole, and he's on par with Melee Fox, which, again, we'll get to eventually. But without Speed Demon, I think he's suitable as the top of A tier. Probably my most controversial take, but we'll see. Now we get to his timid younger brother, Luigi. Though he's very smart and inventive, there is just not much there. For the entirety of the Something About plot, he's mainly just trying to save his brother from the Speed Demon. The only time that he fought, he was just kind of running away. However, he did one-shot King Boo with no powers or no equipment, just with a picture frame, which personally I think is pretty impressive, but not too impressive. I'm gonna put him the top of D tier. Now our next character, Simon Belmont. In his video is the literal definition of an unstoppable force. He has an unbelievable amount of weapons at his disposal. That includes his signature whip, Holy Water, and I actually can't remember if he uses anything else. Though he may seem powerful, he kinda only defeats small monsters. You could argue that he has also defeated Dracula, but I don't know how powerful Dracula is. In the Something About series, that is. Like, yeah, Dracula is obviously framed as a powerful person, but Yoshi literally did the same thing, just quicker. But you gotta give it to the man. The guy literally threw an axe at Marx with zero fear. Yeah, he got bodied. But man, balls of steel. This man has my respect. That earns him the top of C tier for now. Now this next character will make you lose your bananas, because we're talking about Donkey Kong. Guys, I said lose your bananas. That was your cue to laugh. Why aren't you laughing? I'm funny. Please laugh. I need validation. Anyway, Donkey Kong is pretty strong. He literally rips and tears anything in his way. He's killed Master Hand on his own, as well as destroying a factory. But, unfortunately, there isn't a lot of material to kind of go over with him. He's just kind of a big, strong, stupid ape. And just for that, he gets the top of B tier. Okay, now we're getting into the real cream of the crop here, because we're talking about Fox McCloud. This is not including his R-Wing, by the way. Obviously, he's the best of the melee tier. He's super speedy, he can use his shine ability to reflect and also attack. He uses his wave dash technique to dodge everything. He can also summon his Landmaster, which is a giant cannon thing, tank. I don't know, he doesn't really use it. But most impressive of all is that he was able to keep up with Speedrunner Mario. Well, up to a point. I mean, it was pretty one-sided after the second half of the fight, and he ended up losing. But he did sure put up a fight. I'll put him in A tier, right below Mario. Now we got one of my personal favorite characters, Speedrunner Link.
Well, excuse.
The best way I can describe this character is that he's a psychopathic, speedrunning misogynist, and he has the abilities to get away with it. Link can walk through walls. He has all the Sheikah Slate runes. That includes Magnesis, Cryonis, Stasis, and Remote Bombs. He can launch himself in the air using bullet time, and beef up himself using hearty food. He took out all the Blight Ganons, including Ganon himself, without using the Master Sword at all. And thanks to Tears of the Kingdom, he has Ultra Hand now, so he can fuse things together. The only downside is that he only has 3 hearts. However, he can just eat a bunch of apples, and he'll be just fine. And then his most deadly ability, his Flurry Rush. When dodging an opponent, he can slow down time, and absolutely manhandle them. Okay, maybe I shouldn't said manhandle, but he does do a lot of damage. However, he's not resisting black holes or punching moons, so he's just going to be an A tier, right below Fox. Now we're going to get to one of the most surprisingly powerful characters, James and Gary, from Something About Typing of the Dead. I remember this coming out and this being absolute art. I am so freaking glad that this video exists. But basically, they have these keyboards that act as guns, and they can defeat swarms of enemies in seconds, as well as innocent civilians. Now you might be thinking, Jack, they're just guns. Anyone can use a gun. You're right. However, they were able to defeat one of the most powerful beings in all of existence, a dead meme by the name of Ultra Instinct Shaggy, in which they were able to defeat him with the power of So yeah, that automatically puts them in S tier. Now let's take a short break and talk some absolute trash characters. Carl and Barry, who are literally just two squares. I mean, one's a square and one's a rectangle. Please don't correct me on that. But literally, that is just what they are. They're two blocks. They do nothing, and they're really boring. And honestly, when this video came out, it honestly scared me. Because, man, imagine having content like this be on YouTube. That's horrifying. F tier. Now, back to the good stuff. Samus. Samus is a lot like Simon in a way, in which she just has a lot of weapons, and yes, she definitely bulldozes through competition, but unlike Simon, her weapons are just too powerful. She's extremely fast and able to defeat Ridley with not really much effort. She can fire 1,000,000 missiles a second and freeze people instantly. She is also fast enough to jump out of orbit while a planet is exploding. However, other than that, there isn't too many feats to go off of, so I'm going to put her the top of B tier. Now, let's talk about our favorite rodent. Sonic that... Wait, hold on, is Sonic a rodent? Are hedgehogs rodents? Here, wait, I'm gonna look this up, hold on. Are hedgehogs rodents? Apparently not. They're under a mammal order called Elupotyphla. So anyway, let's talk about our favorite rodent, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Chili dogs.
What can I really say about this guy? He goes fast. I mean, like, there's not really much to talk about. I guess he could run around the entire world in 1 second and, cause global flooding. And I guess he can go super with the Chaos Emeralds. And I guess he can also, fight Speedrunner Mario at full power and kill Taboo accidentally. He can also warp through space and teleport objects with him. Yeah, I guess he goes in A tier then. Hello, this is Future Jack here, that's why my quality is worse, and I just want to address the allegations. So, when making this video, I completely forgot that Sonic had a second video in which he runs to the moon and back and destroys it. So, I will say that Sonic is a bit more powerful in base form than base Mario, but I'm not really including his super form in that regard. So, just to reiterate, I think Sonic is more powerful than Mario. Hey there guys, Future Jack here, and I just want to say, no, screw you, it's still gonna be the same. Mario can tango with Fox and survives black holes. I think Speed Demon only enhances Mario's speed, not his durability. I do believe that Sonic is able to defeat Mario in his super form, but whether or not I should use that to gauge where he ends up on the list is a bit nebulous. So I'm just gonna tell you guys to pipe down and just deal with it. This is my list. Now this next character, this next character, oh, he's something, alright. He's a real stupid child, he is. And as of recording this video, has one of the longest series just dedicated to him. And he does nothing. Okay, let's just go over his feats. The Hero of Time. He has Navi. And Navi is an absolute war criminal. Lifting children and dropping them until their skeletons fall out, and even oh my god! But what Link does isn't really too impressive. I think he burns down the Elder Tree or something like that. I don't know. He picks up the Master Sword and transforms himself from stupid child to idiot teenager. In this new and underwhelming form, he collects a vast assortment of weapons, such as the long shot, the hammer that can tilt an entire mountain, which he drops, and I can't really think of anything else. He also has a janky targeting system, so that's something. But yeah, like overall, this guy is like easily startled, scared, very stupid. He went toe-to-toe with Dark Link I guess. I mean, he tried to get out as soon as freaking possible, and he didn't even defeat him. Oh yeah, I guess he can also take a lot of punishment. He can also get healed by Navi, but honestly, he's super, super weak. However, I will give him a little bit of credit. He has completed his tasks and, well, defeated some monsters, and I believe that he can probably take out most of D tier, so I'm gonna just put him on the top of it. This boy better do better, I swear. The next character is X. Mega Man X, that is. Little baby boobop. I am so surprised that TerminalMontage has not made another Mega Man video, because honestly, these rock. And I also mean quite literally, they rock, because this boy is a professional musician. But anyway, let's get on to his feats. He has a variety of different modes and weapons, just like Samus. He's able to take out warships all on his own, and can warp to the moon. He can dodge lasers, and most importantly, he's a big boy. I honestly see a lot of connections between X and Samus, and I think they're about the same range in terms of power. However, I do think that Samus is just a bit more powerful, so I'm just gonna put him right there. Also, TerminalMontage or Jermey. Can I call you Jermey? I'm gonna call you Jermey. Jermey, if you're listening, I just want to ask, if you have another something versus, please let it be Samus versus Mega Man X. I need it. The next character we have is a bit of an interesting one, and probably the most original of the parodies. And what I mean by that is that it takes the original characters and concept and morphs it into something completely different, which is honestly really cool, because the series that we're talking about is Pac Man. This is Pac Man. That's Pac Man. This is probably the closest thing we'll get to something about Dead Space. But, if I'm being honest, there's not a lot to say about Pac Man. He's understandably weak, and he has a, space gun. Yeah, more of a better video than, display of a powerful character. I would recommend checking this one out, but I'm gonna put him in D tier. Right below Luigi. Alright, now we're gonna talk about that character I was, alluding to. Speed Demon. Here's the thing. It possesses Mario and makes him more powerful. And personally, I'm under the assumption that he only enhances what powers are already there. So when he possesses Mario, yeah, he's totally faster and can possibly destroy reality. But I think that's only because Mario is already super fast. I mean, he guns for Sonic right after he was spat out because of Luigi. And without a host, he isn't as fast. He was defeated by Geno pretty easily, actually. He is able to dodge lasers, though, and destroys an R-Wing. And though I personally believe that he's not as powerful as he is on his own, I still think he's a freaking monster. So, I'm gonna put him on the top of B tier. Now we got the Japanese man himself, Melee Marth, who has the special ability of having a very stupid grab range. He can literally grab on to anything. As it suggests, he's S tier in Melee, and he fights alongside Melee Fox. He's decent with a sword, but honestly, there isn't a lot to go off of with this character. I think with the limited amount of feats, I think the best I can do for him is put him in B tier. A little above Yoshi, but no way he's dealing with Donkey Kong. Now we're on to Frisk, who is literally a dead child. Yeah, I think I know where to put this one. F. For falling down a freaking hole and dying. Alright, we got Olimar. Now, I personally believe that Olimar is S tier. Now, you're probably staring at your screen, totally bewildered, absolutely shaking in your boots, asking me, Jack, have you lost your collective marbles? And I will say, bro, trust. Because, man, this guy, he is powerful. Remember when I said that Kirbo defeated Marx with the power of Jesus? So Marx was able to create a black hole and shoot a laser that destroyed planet Popstar. And Olimar threw a red pigment at it and killed him. And he's got an entire army of these, basically slaves, but he's got an army of them. But yeah, case closed. S tier. Our next character is Ryu, and with only one video to go off of, he doesn't really have a lot. His low kicks are definitely the solution to every single problem he has. I'm pretty sure he only uses his Hadouken once. But seriously, the greatest enemy he's ever made is this car that just hunts him down. The car even killed Bison. Freaking Bison. And he doesn't even win in the end. Like, he gets out of the car, gets run over by it, drives off a cliff, and the car comes back and kills him. Yeah, so I'm gonna put him in D tier. The very top of it. Because, well, he does, like, win for a majority of the video. Yeah. Next on our list is the Arceus hero or something that kind of looks like Dawn. I'm just gonna call her Dawn. Now, Dawn, and this is the reason why I didn't include the Pokemon Royale in this list, has a lot on her disposal. And I mean a lot of Pokemon. She can even revive them, just lickety-split. Her Abra can teleport anything, anywhere. She can just teleport people off cliffs. Her Parasect can eat Master Pokemon, or is that what they're called? Master Pokemon? The golden ones? I guess I'm looking this up again. Hold on. Alpha. They're called Alpha Pokemon.
Hello guys, Future Jack is back, and here to stop you from pulling an actually on me, because while reviewing the footage I realized that Alpha Pokemon are referring to the Pokemon that Nintendo has used the transformation tool on, and that no Giga Impact. After doing extensive research, which was basically just typing in what the first boss was of Legends Arceus, I figured out that they are called Noble Pokemon. Yeah, just prevented a war in the comments. You're welcome. Back to the video.
She has a Zoroark that can rip you to shreds. And if she was able to take out 2 gods and then another god Pokemon, I would say that, I mean, like, she's... I'm kind of bewildered myself. I actually don't really know how to rank this because it's not her, it's her Pokemon, but she has them. So to kind of play it safe, I kind of just am gonna put her in C tier at the very top of it. You can argue with me later. We got more characters to do, so just sit down, trust. Next we have is Kennedy. Leon Kennedy, who, if I'm being honest, is just a guy with a gun. Like, he's an expert shot. He uses Ashley as a tool sometimes. Defeats the final monster with no help, but like, other than that, there's not really much to say. He's definitely competent, so I'm gonna put him high D tier. Now we got Conky Dong's little sidekick, Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong in his first video was just kind of there. I mean, he shot some people with twin Uzis, but yeah, not really much else. And that was in the background too. In his standalone adventure with his girlfriend Trixie Kong? I think that's her name. Or Dixie. Am I looking this up again? Okay, fine. It's Dixie Kong, of course it is. Anyway, I really have to be honest with myself here. Diddy Kong isn't that threatening at all. He's pretty athletic, he's fairly clever, he packs some heat, but not much else. Donkey Kong basically does most of the heavy lifting, but I do think that he kind of clears D tier, so I'm gonna put him the bottom of C tier. Now we have the Helldivers. These guys are God-bred American heroes. So disposable that you could probably mistake them for a sack of trash that you forgot to throw out yesterday. The kinds of people that make you just want to say, "Oorah." And let me tell you also, these guys are tenacious. Absolutely relentless. They tackle on aliens with no fear at all. They can survive falls from orbit. They pack some serious heat. And man, they absolutely want the smoke.
And that must mean that that's your uncle then, huh?
They're the kind of people that, if you even stab them and they're bleeding out to death, they'll still call you a sissy and a wuss while drinking Gatorade until the bitter end. But getting off of my patriotic high really quick, these guys, are disposable. It's not like they're invincible or anything. In reality, they are just glorified stormtroopers. But I will give them this. Their tenacity and relentlessness, I think, totally sweeps through D tier. So I'm gonna put them at the bottom of C tier. Now, we're finally on to our last character, Banjo and Kazooie. And, as of recording this, only came out about a week ago. So, how does this Banjo bear compare to, everybody else? Well, let's see. He can walk through most objects no problem. Kazooie can help him fly. Kazooie can fire a million eggs. Kazooie can make her legs like stilts. Kazooie can make herself invincible with I'm starting to see a trend here. It's almost like Kazooie is, ironically carrying the team, and Banjo is actually the weak link here. Banjo isn't even that strong or displays that much strength. It's mainly just Kazooie being abused and, taking out most of the hits. But even then, they're still not all that powerful. If I'm being generous here, I would put them a little bit above Leon Kennedy, and that's as high as I'm willing to go for that character. And there you have it, the complete TerminalMontage character tier list, sorted out by power level. So what do you think? Do you think it's pretty accurate, or do you think it's utter garbage? Personally, I don't really care what you think. It's my list. And if you want to make a list of your own, I can link the tier list down in the description. So you can say, "Hey Jack, this is the correct tier list." And I can very, very respectfully ignore you. And if you want to watch more videos like this, then, I don't know, go look up a tier list video. Why are you looking at me, man? I barely started this YouTube channel, alright? Just let me get my feet off the ground, okay? Jeez.